Hi, so I am Professor Sheetal Silal and I'm an Associate Professor at the University of Cape Town in the Department of Statistical Sciences, which is in the Faculty of Science. And I'm also the Director of a research unit called the Modelling and Simulation Hub Africa. And what that research unit does is we focus on using computers and simulation to build models of disease so that we can help people like government make better decisions on how to manage diseases like COVID-19. So I grew up in a little rural town called Verulam, just north of Durban in Kwazulu-Natal, and I did really well in maths in school, and that helped me get a scholarship to go to the University of Cape Town. And at the University of Cape Town, I started doing a degree that was strong in maths, called actuarial science, but it was a finance degree. But I knew that maths was my real passion, and I didn't want to end up or to start working in a finance corporation. I wanted to do something meaningful with maths. And that's when I got a scholarship from the National Research Foundation to take a master's degree. I learned how to use maths to solve everyday problems. And I stumbled upon solving these problems in the disease world. So if you have a disease and you want to, say, introduce a new medicine, or you want to introduce a new vaccine, the impact of the vaccine, the cost of the vaccine, is it going to be useful? I learned that I could use my maths to help governments answer those kinds of questions. So my field of research is infectious disease modeling. Now, what that means is we use mathematics to help understand how diseases behave and how they spread in a population and what we can do to control diseases. Now you think, diseases, isn't that about medicine? What does maths have to do with anything? But we have to understand that it's not just about having a disease, it's about, can you seek care at a clinic or go to a hospital? Do you have access to receiving the appropriate treatment that you need? And so we build all of these characteristics, all of these features of the health system into a model, and we use mathematics to take this behavior of disease and translate it into a set of equations. We then solve the equations and we build something like a video game, a simulation of how a disease behaves in a population, and then we use that simulation or that model to answer questions. So if we want to roll out the vaccine, like with the COVID vaccine we're doing at the moment, we can answer questions like, what impact will the vaccine have in reducing cases? So there's a direct link here. For the first time, perhaps we can see it, a direct link between maths and computers and then saving lives. I mostly am sitting in front of my computer, but I am coding, so I'm doing computer programming and building up these models. I am analyzing data like our COVID-19 cases and our hospital admissions from COVID-19. While my primary skills are in statistics and mathematics, I have other computer programmers on my team, I have health economists on my team, and we work with many others in science. So we work with biologists, we work with government and public health specialists, we work with vaccinologists and doctors, clinicians, intensive care doctors. So we work with a range of people in health in order to help approach our questions. Much of my infectious disease modeling work has been global. So it has been with my teams, with my collaborators in the Asia Pacific. So you get an opportunity to travel to all these wonderful and exciting places to pursue what I love, which is to use disease models to help improve the health of a nation. So at the time I was growing up, it was not normal for girls to just be getting into scientific subjects or into scientific fields. And I was lucky that my parents always encouraged me to do whatever I wanted to do, and they didn't stop me. So I would say that you have to work really hard, because the world is not set up to be equal for everybody. And we know that many of us are historically disadvantaged in South Africa, and we have to work through that disadvantage. The greatest benefit of science and the greatest benefit of maths is not the subject itself, it's how it teaches you to think. And that is the most important part, because as a doctor, you need to diagnose a certain illness. You've got to follow a logical process. As a lawyer, you have to unpack so much of evidence to create a clear story or identify what the truth is. And those skills are actually best developed by mathematics, because mathematics teaches you how to problem solve. to do the work that I've done and to get as far as I have, it really has meant working so hard in school to get as high marks as possible, to get a scholarship to go and study after school, to study into a master's degree. You really have to keep working hard at the same time as taking all the opportunities and doing the best you can, giving it your best every single time.